Hi, this is Jonathan L. I'm speaking to you from my home in Berlin, Germany. It's a nice, little bit of a chill on a fall day. I wish I could be there with you, all you KQsters. I'm here to speak about the history of KUKQ. And I know that many of you have heard many different tales, stories, or whatever, but I'm going to tell you the truth. And it's not about my ego, please, it's not. But there wouldn't be a KQ if it wasn't for a show called Virgin Vinyl. It's the truth. When I began the show in Arizona back in '82 and worked on a number of stations, the demise of KEYX would be the reason how I ended up at KUPD. And after 14 months of doing the show, Virgin Vinyl, on KUPD, they asked me if I could do what I do on the AM station. And I said, well, I'd like to, sure. And Ernesto Gladden and myself were the ones that, in my home in Tempe, put together the whole concept. He had a lot of programming experience, and I had the lifestyle and the music. So we merged together, and that's how KQ went on the air in April of 1989. Shortly after we went on, Ernesto spoke with Mary Bone Mama McCann, one of the greatest morning DJs ever. And she came over from KUPD. And Leah Miller became the night person, and JT Justice, my dear friend John Withrow, who many of you probably don't know, but I became very close with him, especially after KQ and before before John passed away a number of years ago. And I miss him deeply. We had a great station. There were great people. Socrates, who was a holdover from the earlier country days of KUKQ, had a whole new persona as Socrates, and he was great. There were so many good people. We had a great promotion director, Tammy G. When I came up with the idea of the KQ Festival, which debuted in October of 1989 with the Red Hot Chili Peppers and Camper Van Beethoven, who else? The Sidewinders and Mary's Danish. We had 10,000 people at Big Surf in Scottsdale. And it was at that time when I put that together through relationships that I had had over the years. It became something that the station thought would be a good idea to continue. And I just kept on putting these festivals together. I'm not saying I didn't have any help. Of course I did. Tammy G was just amazing, amazing what she did. To help with those festivals. So much work. But all in all, it was you listeners that really made the station. There was something unique and unusual about there was something unusual about an AM radio station, which, even though a lot of the listeners might not have remembered the true AM radio from the 60s, but you know what? It was just amazing. Okay, we didn't have an FM signal. Okay, we didn't hit everywhere at nighttime. Except when we didn't turn the switch and let it go. And it ended up in, I don't know, Washington, state of Washington, Colorado, everywhere. Because that's what AM radio is all about. I have to say that what we brought to Phoenix is something that can never be duplicated again. Yes, today there is an alternative format, and I wish everyone luck with it. But I think, when KUKQ went on the air in 1989, it was only the 9th station to become an alternative station. And then the Edge in Dallas came right after that. So it was the very early days of a very exciting time period. Let's call it the pioneer days, exploration. We were exploring. And it was you listeners that were so excited about what we did. It was all about you. So if I've not mentioned anyone, there were many people on the air. Michelle Robbins, Lydia Lambert. You know what? I can't remember them all. But I thank all of them for being part of the history of KUKQ. And Leah, with this museum thing today, it's amazing. It's nice to keep the memories on something that was unique. It was bold, unusual, as I said earlier, it can never be duplicated. Now, if you would ask me what my favorite memories were, it was the listeners, you listeners. It was, of course, the staff. You guys were great, every one of you. And if I have a personal favorite memory, I would say getting Sisters in Mercy to perform on the 1991 Q Bash that was filmed by MTV 120 Minutes. Forget MTV, that wasn't the excitement for me. This was the excitement, and as I say goodbye, this was my favorite memory. So let's talk about the music. The music, everyone that worked at the station was passionate about the music. Whether it was the Pixies, Depeche Mode, Erasure, The Cure, the list goes on, and I don't want to waste time doing that, but I gotta tell you, it was the passion of the people on air, and you listeners, of course, because the phones always rang. And we knew what you liked, whether it was Joy Division, New Order, you wanted to hear the Dead Kennedys, we played it for you. And back then, it meant something. Today, you can hear a lot of the music we played probably in dentist's office, you know, like the English Beat and Billy Idol and things like that. But it was exciting from 1989 until 1993. When Leah and I signed off in July of 1993, that truly was the end of not just a great radio station, but the end of an era and the end of a unique idea. And I have to thank Ed Hamlin, Curtis Johnson, Ernesto Gladden, Mary Beaumont McCann, Leah Miller, JT Justice, and many, many others for being a part of a great radio station. It's a part of my life, and I'm glad that, well, it's a part of a lot of people's lives. I don't really live in the past, but there's the truth about KUKQ. It was a great station. AM 1060 AM will live on in many people's lives for a long time. Dankeschön. Thank you, Phoenix.